Hail and well met. Thanks for watching again. I'm finally back after, what, a month, 2 months of being way too busy to make a video. Thank you for sticking around, and thank you, influx of new subscribers. I don't know if this video is going to be what you're looking for, but I'm going to jump back to something I did previously where I'm going to be talking about child-free bingos. And for those who are brand new, if you don't know what those are, I'm a person who never wants to have children, and I talked about that from time to time. And one of the things that we go through are what we call bingos. It's if you say, I don't want kids, someone will inevitably say something like, you'll change your mind, you'll meet the right person, blah, blah, blah. So some annoying shit where they're basically completely ignoring what you're saying and trying to impose their own lifestyle upon you with some annoying little saying. And you hear them so often that you can fill out a bingo card. Henceforth, it's a bingo. So surprise, surprise, I found out that there's even more of these annoying little phrases and sayings, so we're going to look at a few more of them today. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And for those of you who aren't interested in this sort of thing, I'm going to try to make like a review of something else in a little while, so hang around or whatever, I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, dude. Don't you want to hear the pitter-patter of little feet? Well, first of all, I get that because I have cats, so I'm not really missing out on any of that shit. This kind of goes back to an overwhelming theme, is that when they say you're gonna have a baby, they only seem to talk about it as a baby. They never stop to consider that this person is gonna be like my age at some point. It's gonna be old and bald with terrible facial hair. I kind of briefly mentioned it. There was another one where it's like, don't you want to get in on that new baby smell? Don't you want to see what it looks like? And it's like, these are very temporary of stages, because the pitter-patter of little feet will eventually be the dragging feet of a teenager who hates her guts and says, you know, go fuck yourself, mom or dad. This is just a dumb one. I don't know. I don't take it that seriously. It's the same as, you know, new baby smell. So, screw it. Next one. The human race could die out. Good! Fuck the human race. Okay, that's my personal opinion, but in all seriousness, we are 7 billion human beings strong, and the only thing that's gonna stop that at this point is either the next bubonic plague or a nuclear winter. And the way things are going, one of those is probably going to happen soon. I don't know. Really, one person saying they don't want to have kids, and that's going to lead to the collapse of civilization and all of society? And at the same time, I'm personally a misanthrope, so I kind of think we deserve Armageddon at this point. I mean, if the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse showed up tomorrow morning, I would just kind of say, you know, we kind of had it coming. We're doing terrible shit and, you know, butt-fucking the planet day after day. Whatever. But this is a very stupid bingo. It's very short-sighted, and honestly, the human race is not going to die out anytime soon. If anything, we're really good at keeping the population growing. It's like Agent Smith said in The Matrix, we're a fucking virus and just constantly breeding and destroying everything we come into contact with. Yeah, that's stupid. Next one. It's your duty to procreate. This one's especially if you're a woman. That is pretty offensive, to be honest, just to say, oh, female, you're only good for your vagina. Get back to the kitchen. No, but seriously, like, that's it? There are some people out there who literally do reduce women down to their reproductive traits, and that's about it. That, like, oh, that's all they're good for is having babies. Well, I think that's an extreme thing. I've never personally heard something like that. But some people are like, you know, you could go to school and get a PhD in neurosurgery or something. I'm not sure if that's a real degree, but you could go to school, get a PhD in neurosurgery, become the top-ranked surgeon in the world, and some relative will be like, but when are you gonna have a baby? And it's like, really? Really? That's it? Something that fucking cockroaches do. And that's more impressive than being a goddamn neurosurgeon. It's so stupid and insulting. It literally takes no thought to have sex and not pull out. That's basically the only requirements. Get laid, don't pull out, survive childbirth. Actually, you don't even have to survive the childbirth. You just pop out the kid and you've done it, and then you're remembered as the mother who sacrificed her life to have a baby. It is so stupid to constantly make childbirth this amazing achievement when fucking koalas do it. Koalas are the dumbest animals on the fucking planet, and they have children. That's not impressive anymore. You will meet someone who will change your mind. No, I won't. If the person I'm with wants children and I don't want children, then you move on, and you can't compromise on halfway having a kid. You can't say, okay, you want a kid, but I don't want a kid, so I'll have half a kid, or we'll have a kid, but only you're gonna watch it, and I'm not gonna deal with it at all. It's not gonna work out that way. If you don't want kids, you don't have to stick with someone who does want kids. I would even say, like, if you don't want kids and you're with someone who's not even sure, I would say be very careful then, because some people actually do change their mind, which sucks. And that has happened, where people get together with someone who actually does want kids, or says, oh yeah, no, I totally don't, and then later on they're like, well, I was just hoping that you would change your mind eventually, and we're gonna have kids now, right? Stick to your guns. You don't want kids, find someone who also doesn't want kids. And that's gonna work out the best. Because realistically, think of it this way: even if you did decide, okay, fine, I'll have a kid with this person, you are ruining at least 3 lives in this. You're gonna be miserable because you signed up for something that you didn't even want in the first place. The significant other is going to be miserable because obviously you're unhappy, so then they're going to be unhappy. And to top it all off, the kid's going to be happy, or unhappy, I mean. The kid's going to be unhappy because children are very smart, despite how much I don't like them. They're very smart and are able to tell when a parent is unhappy towards either the significant other or in the family altogether. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You're just going to make everyone miserable and make things extremely complicated. Stick to your guns. You don't want kids, get with someone who doesn't want kids. And I know in some areas that's going to be very difficult, especially like the South, where, you know, having kids is like breathing at some point. But just hang in there. Just hang in there. Stay strong. Fight the good fight. Also, I feel like I should mention, since I got comments before, my nails are long because I play classical guitar and I have to grow them out. So there you go. That's why my nails are long. Okay, moving on. You just hate children. Damn straight I do. No, that's me. No, not necessarily everyone who is child-free hates all children. There are a lot of child-free people, teachers especially, who deal with children all day long, or they're perfectly fine with nieces and nephews or cousins or whatever. They're perfectly fine with that, but at the end of the day, they want to come home and they just want to not deal with that anymore. They don't want a kid. They don't want to deal with the financial responsibility. They don't want to deal with taking care of someone 24/7 for the first, 10 years of its life. They don't want to worry about what happens to it. They don't want to deal with passing on a genetic disease. There's dozens of reasons, hundreds even, to not have a child. Not having one doesn't mean that you hate them. You know, I'll admit, I've been around kids that I actually kind of liked and were very sweet and cute and well-behaved and polite, and it was like, you know, in a perfect world, maybe I could be like a godfather or something, but realistically, I can't handle that sort of responsibility. I'm personally the type of person who needs to come home and just be completely alone, and I need a place that's calm and quiet, and a child is the exact opposite of that. So it's just not going to happen. And I mean, there's other reasons too, but not all child-free people hate children. There are some of them that actually do love kids, but they want to come home to a quiet place, or maybe they're happy with cats and dogs. I've got cats. I'm perfectly happy with those little guys. Aren't you? Where are you? Fuck them. And I know I'm rambling on this one, but even if someone does say they hate kids like me, it doesn't mean I wish them harm. It's like cilantro. I hate cilantro. I hate cilantro, period. I have that genetic defect where it tastes like battery acid and soap, and so as soon as I get it in my food, I'm miserable, because that's all I can taste is battery acid and soap. But it doesn't mean I want to wipe cilantro off the face of the planet. Who am I to say I'm going to take away something that other people actually do enjoy? And it doesn't mean I want to commit mass genocide against cilantro, or I don't want to find a cilantro field and burn it to the ground. I don't know if cilantro grows in fields, but you get the point. When I say I hate kids, it just means I don't want them around me, and I'm way more comfortable without them. It doesn't mean I wish them harm. It doesn't mean I wish them ill will. It doesn't mean I think they're all stupid and ugly and hideous. Maybe the poorly behaved ones. Yeah, that's something that bothers me, is that you don't want kids, suddenly you hate them. That's incredibly short-sighted and rude. It's not even close to being true. Oh my god, I still have more of these things. White people aren't having enough kids. Oh, fuck this one. Yeah, I don't know what else to say except that's extremely fucked up. Fuck racism. What else can I really say except fuck that, you know? That is bullshit, and you know it. So, I'm just gonna move on, because this is gonna get into one of those topics where I briefly mention racism, and then boom, I'm gonna have like a wall of comments about like Muslims in the Middle East or something. Fuck it, moving on. But what you have isn't a real family. Okay, good. First of all, that is extremely insulting. I have a wife and cats. We're perfectly happy. I would consider us a family. The nuclear family is not the ultimate definition of what a family is. And especially in this day and age, in what, 2017, the definition of a family has just changed completely. There could be 2 parental units, there could be just 1, because there's a ton of single moms and dads out there. You have some more open-minded parents that maybe have 3 or 4 parental figures in the house. I don't know. And then especially when it comes to the children thing, especially biological children. What about adoptive children? Is that not a real family? We keep saying, like, what's not a real family? Well, what's the definition of a family? You know, I just got out of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I would consider, you know, Quill and Gamora and Rocket and Drax and Groot. I think that's all of them. I would consider that a family, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's, you know, the movie version of a group of strangers being a family, but I consider that a family. It's a bunch of people who love and care about each other. Doesn't have to be by blood. And you know, it's that old saying, blood is thicker than water? Well, that phrase is bullshit, because the real expression is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means that your blood doesn't really mean as much as the people who you choose to be in your life. Who are you to judge what a real family is? My furry children keep me very happy, and your shitty kid named, what, Brayden, Caden, Aiden? How many Aidens are there going to be? You were a child once. I might have actually done this one, maybe, but I'll do a really short one. So what? I also used to be sperm. I don't want a facial in my life. I was in my dad's ball sack. I don't want his balls hanging around all day. Fuck you. Moving on. Did you have a bad childhood? That's another pretty insulting one, actually. It's kind of like how I'm not religious, and so usually I would hear like, oh, you don't believe in God, did something bad happen and now you hate God or something? No, it has nothing to do with that. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean some travesty happened in my life to make me hate it. I just don't like it. That's it. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a billion reasons why people might not want kids. And these can be money, genetics, bad area to bring up a kid, trauma, tocophobia. People are just legitimately afraid to have kids. The responsibility is too high. The responsibility is too much. Mental conditions that you wouldn't be able to deal with having a child, especially a screaming baby who's 100% dependent on you for the first several years of its life. So many reasons to just not have one. It goes back to child worship and putting babies and children and parenthood up on this magical pedestal, and if you don't want it or don't like it, there's something inherently wrong with you. That's not the case anymore. Because way too many times I've seen shitty parents have shitty kids, and then they think they're the shit because they pooped out a baby, and suddenly that means something. Well, it doesn't. I'm sorry, okay? Being a parent doesn't mean anything when fucking koalas do that sort of shit. Fuck, I hate koalas. They're the dumbest animals on the planet. I'm sorry. I have a hate boner for koalas. Maybe pandas, too. I don't... Fuck them. No, we didn't have a bad childhood. I had a fine childhood, okay? I just took my time and looked around, and I just realized that kids aren't all it's cracked up to be. It's a ton of work, and honestly, the payoff is warm, fuzzy feelings and a shitload of debt. I'm not interested. I'm sorry, okay? You know, and I should have said this in the very beginning. If you want this sort of thing, and if you're doing a good job and you're doing your damnedest to raise a good person and a citizen and teach them about, like, kindness and all that good shit, fine. You do you. You be the best parent you can possibly be. But be okay with me and other people not doing it. You know, I'm not going to judge you as long as you're trying, so don't judge me because I've opted out of it. Okay? Okay. You must be a very sad person. No, not really. The cats are quiet and pretty cuddly. They cuddle me at night, so that makes me feel good. The wife and I get to have as much sex as we want, uninterrupted. I get to sleep in all the time. I get to play video games as much as I want. I could pick up any hobby I really wanted to, like hiking or exercising. Guitar. I can practice music as much as I want. I'm a big fan of death metal. and black metal and grindcore, so I get to listen to that throughout the day without having to worry about, hurting some innocent child's ears. I get to drink and smoke as much as I want. Ironically, I don't do that very often. Yeah, no, actually, it's pretty all right. I'm A-okay there. How's the Wiggles concert? How's changing diapers? How's having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because your kid won't sleep in no matter what? How's having to constantly argue with them about eating that one piece of broccoli just to get them to try vegetables for once? You see, I'm going to stop there, but, your life isn't all it's cracked up to be. You got hormone vision or something going on. It's like how mothers have a wave of hormones pumped into them after they give birth just so that they don't strangle their kid. You know how shaken baby syndrome happens? I'm not condoning it. It's terrible, but there's a reason it happens, okay? Some people are just not able to deal with children and babies. I'm pretty sure I'm one of those people. I wouldn't shake a baby. I'm digging myself a grave. I'm gonna shut the fuck up and move on. How can you live with yourself? Quite comfortably, thank you. Like I said, cats, big bed that I get to sleep in as much as I want, cool hobbies, friends, spare time. It's pretty cool. Thanks for asking. You'll regret it when you're older. Okay, so here's the thing with that. Which is worse? Is it worse to not have a child and then get older and realize, shit, I should have had one? Or to have a child, to bring in a new life who will eventually grow up to be an adult just like you and me, and then realize, shit, this sucks. Now I can't get rid of the kid. Which is worse, to have a kid and regret it, or to not have a kid and regret it? Honestly, I would rather not bring in a human life and realize that it made me miserable, because then I'm affecting that person's life. Like I said, kids are smart and they can pick up when they're unwanted and unloved, okay? It's a fucked up thing that we need to cut back on. Even if I did legitimately regret not having a biological child, I could always adopt. That's a thing, right? With all of the money I'm gonna save by not having a biological child. I know, it's a dick move. Look, I can undo that. I can adopt a kid, sure. The process is a pain in the ass, but isn't that also a little weird? How if you want to adopt a child, you have to be like drug-free, have a good job, have no criminal record, have a shitload of money, have every single thing pristine and in order, make sure that you are the best parent you can be. But if you have your own biological one, pump and dump, and that's all you gotta do. People put more thought into McDonald's orders more than they put thought into having a fucking kid sometimes. I swear to God. Unfortunately, I do believe in freedom of, your body and whatever. If you want kids, have kids, but Jesus Christ, just put some thought into it. That's all I'm saying. My kids are the most important thing in my life. Good for you. That's not me, though. Some people have different goals in life. Your kids make you happy and, you're raising them to be good citizens. Good on you, I guess, but I don't want to do that, so respect my choice to not do that. It's not like I'm going around and making sure my tax dollars never go to helping out schools. I'm more than happy to have my tax dollars go to help out schools, because good schools mean good smart kids. Good smart kids mean good smart adults. That's fine, whatever. I will happily help out my community and society. But I don't want to contribute to yet another human being in an overpopulated world filled with bullshit. I just don't. I have more reasons than that, but if you're happy with kids, be happy. Good for you. But let me and others not have kids and be happy with cats and dogs. And really sweet gaming systems. The last one. I've been dodging this one for a while because I really... Okay, I didn't want to talk about this one. Just because it is very controversial. But fuck it. You know what? People keep shoving it out there. Fine. I'm going to give you my honest-to-God opinion, and this is going to be divisive. I'm probably going to lose subscribers, and I'm going to get a shitload of comments about this taboo subject. But screw it. It was going to come up eventually. I talk about not having children. This was going to come up. The final boss of bingos, the worst one, that infuriates me to no end. Accidents happen. Fuck you, Karen. I say Karen because it's always someone with a name like Karen. Just the snobbiest, most smug look, arms crossed, accidents happen. Oh, fuck you. Okay, fine. I will talk about this one. I live 5 minutes away from a Planned Parenthood. If my wife and I somehow ever got pregnant, you bet your fucking ass I would drive her out there in a heartbeat, hoover that motherfucker, that little parasite, that unwanted little blob out of there faster than you can say, "Can you validate my parking, please?" And then I would take her ass out to Denny's or some burger place so that we can thank the fucking stars that we have the ability to choose to abort that little fetus sack of shit that is unwanted. Fuck you, we'll abort it. We will get an abortion. I don't fucking care. I hate this one. Like, all the other ones are pretty stupid, and maybe I get a little irritated at it, but this one legitimately pisses me off. Because this is like a sucker punch to the face. What else are you supposed to say to this one? If someone legitimately said accidents happen and gave me a stupid smug grin, you would say I'd abort the fuck out of it and leave it on your front porch. Because you may as well. They're going low, you go lower. I'm sorry, Michelle Obama. I disagree in this particular instance. Oh god, I'm an asshole. Yeah, look, this is a cheap shot. It's terrible. This is one of those ones because they don't expect you to say what they want you to, what they think you're gonna say. And especially hate the topic. I mean, I think it's something that we should discuss, but I hate how abortion is one of those topics that you just cannot have a civil discussion about. At least not for long. Eventually someone gets mad and you're strangling each other in the next few minutes. And it sucks. It really does suck. Yes, I do believe in the right to choose. I also believe that if you don't believe in getting one, then don't get one, but don't screw over someone else's life because you're trying to impose your morals on them. You know, you do you, I'll do me. You wanna live with the consequences of having unprotected sex? Fine, you do that. But I also don't believe it's very fair to look at some people, like my wife and I, who had seriously decided not to have children, to the point where I have had a vasectomy to make sure this never is an issue, and if that still happened, I'm just supposed to live with it. No, fuck that. I took every precaution to make sure that this never happens, and yet I'm still supposed to deal with this shit. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say to that? It's a mean, nasty, cheap one, and I hate it. I don't know how to really counter it. It's one of those ones where if it was me, I would just go all out and say, screw it, screw being tasteful, screw trying to be decent, screw trying to be nice, because this isn't nice. This is trying to, checkmate you into an awkward corner, and especially if it's around mixed company, that makes it even worse. Fuck, I really hope the comment section doesn't explode with, murdering babies and shit. Fucking hell, I don't want to talk about that. I don't know what else to say. I think that's basically my 2 cents. Yeah, fuck you, Karen. Accidental pregnancies happen, but not accidental births. Except for, that really tiny percentage of women who, never show any signs. I think I actually had a friend who went through that, so it's really hard to really talk about that. There's exceptions, of course. And you know what? Yeah, that's another example. This friend, ex-friend, long story. But, yeah, she had a kid, didn't realize she was pregnant at the time, almost died from the pregnancy, and decided to raise it. And she is miserable. That kid is miserable. That kid's going to have a ton of psychological problems in a few years. And it sucks. It really sucks. I don't know why she chose to raise it as a single mom. Ever since that kid was born, she's been bouncing from place to place to place, relying on favor after favor, with barely any help from anybody, and it's ruining her life. And it sucks. And I think that's what really bothers me about the abortion issue, is that the pro-life people, I don't want to assume what their motive is, or what their methodology is, or whatever. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I never hear them give a shit about what happens after the kid is born. I don't. And I have seen what happens, and it's awful. You're going to create a lifetime of misery because you felt, it's murder or some shit, or take responsibility for sex. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to argue with, you think it's murder. Yeah, and when you put it that way, it sounds terrible, but at the same time, is it a mercy killing? I believe in mercy killings in some instances. And also, like, you know, if I'm super old and can't control my bowels and I can't talk and my mind's gone, just let me fucking go, okay? I don't want to be a vegetable and in my 90s. I would rather just go when I have some dignity. And look, the main point is, yeah, accidents happen, but don't be a bitch about it, okay? I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that last one. I know I kind of got off topic and rambled for a bit. Hopefully I can make some sense of this video. So, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Stick around, I'll make some more videos. I'm finally out of school, and I finally have some time, so I'll try to be making more stuff. Don't be a fool, wrap your tool, stay in school, be nice to someone, don't be a dick, have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, something.